ass on the cushion, there's another knock on the door. Damn it all, I think to myself. The knocking was continuous, but I ignore it. The knocking became more frequent, and once I again shouted, "There ain't no damn candy." The knock became louder, and I cursed in frustration as I pulled myself up from my seat, ready to let this asshole have it. I swing the door open and see that same joker idiot standing there breathing just as heavy, if not heavier, which was very concerning. "Trick or treat," he says yet again, a hint of anger in his voice this time though. "Alright," I answer. "How about a trick? I can make your entire head disappear with a shotgun if you don't get off my damn property," I said. "That's funny," he says, the raspy, giggling tone back in his voice. "I can do the same trick." He then proceeds to turn over his bag, dumping about 6 or 7 heads. With this, he continues on whilst pulling out a large, sharp knife from the back of his pants. At first, I think they're just prop heads, something to go along with what I had previously assumed to be a poor excuse for a costume. But when I smelled the metallic scent of blood and then very realistic trauma to the decapitation wounds, I understand what was happening. He tosses the bag aside and rushes towards me. I quickly attempt to swing the door closed firmly, but he thrusts his free hand inside, blocking it from closing. He screams in annoyed pain as I continue to repeatedly slam the door in hope of breaking his arm until he pulls it out, allowing me to finally close and lock the door. I load in the shells and yell as loud as I can, "How about that trick, you son of a bee?" I listen for a response, but I literally can hear nothing. I slowly approach the door, wishing that I had a bee-ball. I listen closely, making sure to not put my head too close to it. I move over to the window, which up to that point was covered by blackout curtains. I take a peek. Thankfully, the crazy ass is gone, as well as the bundle of human heads. I decide to call the cops, despite my personal feelings about them, and inform them of a lunatic with a bag of severed heads trying to break into my house to kill me. Of course, their opinion on the matter is some punk playing a Halloween prank on me, but they tell me they'll send a couple of officers to check and just investigate regardless. After I hung up the phone, I heard the sound of glass breaking upstairs, realising the crazy F has actually climbed to the second floor from the outside and broken in through a window. I grip my shotgun, take a deep breath, and slowly approach the steps leading upstairs. One step at a time, I ascend, ready for that stupid masked freak to pop out at any moment. I finally get to the top and approach my bedroom, the most likely entry point. Stay aware of my surroundings, listening for every slight sound as I enter the room. I see the broken window. He's definitely here, I think to myself as I carefully examine the room. The room seems clear, so I approach the window to make sure he's not just waiting on the outside of it. As soon as I get to it, however, I hear the sound of footsteps running from behind me out to the hallway. I quickly spin around and aim my shotgun. I rush to the doorway and notice him standing on the other side of the hall. He's just standing there like he was before, breathing hard and tilting his head. I get ready to fire when I feel a sharp pain in my back. "Trick or treat," says a sweet-sounding, singy-songy female voice. She grabs the gun from my hand and tosses it aside as I fall to my knees. I cough up blood as she walks over to her partner. I notice that she's wearing the exact same outfit. Strangely enough, they're both just standing there, I assume waiting for me to bleed out. A normal man would probably grow weak, begin to black out and slowly fade into the abyss. that much more, especially when they deserve that enjoyment. Thinking back to those masks though, it clicks who they were supposed to be, and I roll my eyes and chuckle every time I think of it. Everyone gets it wrong when it comes to me. I will admit some interpretations have been better than others. Those stupid Walmart masks, however, look nothing like me, but it's whatever. Those cops finally showed up. Better late than never, I guess. Luckily, the responding officers are pretty close friends of mine, so the situation is much easier to explain and keep discreet. I go to the ER, get that knife wound checked out, and arrive home pretty late. It's been a damn long night and I'm exhausted. It's definitely way past bedtime. Time for me to go to sleep. In the trunk we had a full bag of toilet paper, eggs, paper guns, and a few other goodies. We all met up at Brent's place, where we would push his dad's Delta 88 down the street until we were at the safe distance, at which point Brent jumped in the driver's seat and it started up. We all piled in and headed off. You really think it's safe to take your dad's car without asking? I asked Brent. I do whatever I want. He doesn't have to know, Brent replied. We had a list of appointments we had to keep throughout the night. First up was Mr. Johnson from Johnson's Corner Store. This guy was always a jerk to us. Whenever we'd enter the store, he'd start bitching. If I took more than 15 seconds between entering and taking what I want to the register to pay, he'd start up again. You sure you have money? What are you trying to find? Are you stealing from me? If any one of us looked at the magazine, he'd yell, "You gonna read it or you gonna buy it? Put it down or pay for it." We parked down the block from his house to avoid detection and took just what we needed on foot. We covered his street in toilet paper, then each launched an egg at his windows as we took off running. Just when we had reached the car, we heard Johnson come out of his front door and scream something at us. I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure it was something like, "You gonna pay for those eggs?" We did pay for those eggs, and we bought them from someone else's store, just to add insult to the injury. We were gone before he had any chance of figuring out who it was, and it was too dark to see faces that far anyway. Anyway, after that, we completely hit on 3 more run-of-the-mill jerks, all well deserving of it. There was Betty, the damn busybody who was always trying to get everyone in trouble for everything. She once claimed to my parents that my friends and I threw rocks at her windows. It wasn't true. I had never even been near her house, let alone thrown anything at it. I didn't even know where she lived at this time. I got credit for a month for doing that, apparently, because my dad believed her without evidence, and didn't believe me. Since I had to pay for the crime that I didn't commit, I figured it was only fair that we'd actually commit that crime now to make it even. Next up was Mr. Shailin, who was always trying to get Tingles to come and hang out with him at his house. He would regularly try to become friends with them by giving them music or movies that he knew they liked. Even tried it with Joey's sister. Joey took the honours of the first egg at this guy's house. We also did a nice drive-by egging of Travis Becker's house. Travis was a 70-year-old who bullied all of us and everybody else who was smaller than him at school. You know the type. Football player, shiny teeth, thinks he's God's gift to women. He didn't want Travis's parents to be mistaken about why their house was targeted, so we made sure to yell some obscenities with the name Travis attached to the end as we were making our getaway. Pretty great night so far. Here's where things started to get a bit hairy. Next on our list was Mr. Farley, a history teacher from our high school. He's the teacher who was always into everyone's business. If you were having a friendly tiff with someone in the hallway, he'd be the one threatening detention for everyone involved, regardless of who did what. He was also that teacher voices? Asked Brent. I don't know, I answered. We were all silent for maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Our silence was then interrupted by a loud bang. Something hit the car. Oh! What was that? Exclaimed Brent. I looked out the side window. Something was trailing us. There's something out there, I said. My daddy's going to kill me. He loves this car, said Brent. The guy's a beast. Dude, said Joey. Oh, I'm sorry. Your guy's so much better. Oh, that's right. You don't have one, replied Brent. I reiterated. Guys, shut up. There's something following us. What? Replied Joey. I don't know. It looks like an animal or something. Dude, we're doing 50 miles per hour. What runs that fast? Said Brent. Nobody answered. We were quiet for several minutes. I'm done for tonight. This is crazy, said Brent, interrupting the silence. Let's just go to the field, I said. The field was what we called the playground on my street. We would hang out there at night for lack of other places to go. We parked the Delta and went and sat at the table that we would always use. There are huge dents in the back of the car, said Brent. That was crazy, said Steve. That was an understatement, said Joey. That guy, he's totally nuts, I added. I'm dead. My daddy's going to kill me when he sees that not only have I taken the car without asking, but got it destroyed by some crazy lunatic, said Brent. Okay, Cameron. I just hope he didn't identify any of us, said Joey. Guys, what is that? I whispered. What? Asked Steve. That over there, it's moving, I replied. Whispered. Everyone turned to look. After we all started staring, the thing looked like it realised we had taken notice of it and started moving faster, and it was obvious that it was moving in our direction. Run! Brent screamed. Everybody jumped up and took off towards the car. Brent attempted to get in the car to make her getaway, but it was too late. The thing was upon him. As soon as he stopped running to open the door, whatever it was on all fours. It toppled him like he was nothing. Brent let out a blood-curdling scream, which was cut off after only a split second by the thing tearing his throat out. The rest of us kept running away from the car. The rest of us took cover in a backyard of one of the nearby houses. There was a barn in the back that we took shelter in and tried to block the door by pushing a small tractor in front of it. What are we going to do? I don't want to die, whispered Joey. Shut up, I'm waiting for morning. Everybody jumped up and took off towards the car. Brent attempted to get in the car to make her getaway, but it was too late. The thing was upon him. As soon as he stopped running to open the door, whatever it was on all fours. It toppled him like he was nothing. Brent let out a blood-curdling scream, which was cut off after only a split second by the thing tearing his throat out. The rest of us kept running away from the car. The rest of us took cover in a backyard of one of the nearby houses. There was a barn in the back that we took shelter in and tried to block the door by pushing a facing the door. Whatever this thing was large, like some sort of animal. It was 6 feet tall, even though it was standing on all four legs. Steve and I climbed up the hayloft in the barn to hide. Steve stayed hidden on the lower level, even though we asked him to come up to us. I don't know why he just stayed down there. It was then that the thing outside of the barn started speaking in a very low, gravely inhuman sounding voice. This isn't going to look good on your permanent high school record, boys. You don't want to get in trouble now, do you? We all stayed silent. Bobby said it. I don't know why he did it, but Bobby replied. Mr. Farley, he said. The thing laughed quietly from outside the door, then said, I knew you'd do the right thing, Bobby. Let me in and we'll talk about this. Steve and I whispered down to Bobby, no. Shut up, do not get up. But Bobby ignored us. I think it must have been, I don't know, in his good nature, I guess, wanting him to turn himself in and take his detention as punishment. He got up slowly and walked towards the door. Yes, that's it. Open the door, Bobby. Be a good boy now. Steve and I pleaded once more through whispers. No, Bobby, don't do it. Bobby, no. Stay away from that door. But Steve was with the other to prevent us both from accidentally making sound from our angel. All I could see was a large dark shadow backlit by moonlight staring down Bobby. This was not a person, it was something totally else. It walked slowly through the door while Bobby walked backwards, matching its pace. It's important that you find the true meaning of Devil's Night, Bobby, said the thing in a terrible voice. This isn't about you or your friends, it continued. It's about us. The people of this town will surely remember after night. And with that, it overtook Bobby. There was nothing he could do to fight it. It was over in an instant, let me say. Bobby now lay silent while the thing enjoyed its meal. After the thing finished, I guess, it moved backwards toward the door, then stopped just before exiting, and without even looking back, said in a demonic voice, "You boys make sure you're in school on Monday," and then left through the door from which it entered. Neither Steve nor I spoke a word until sunrise. We climbed down the loft hay. All that was left of Bobby was his clothes and his mobile phone. I picked up his phone and put it in my pocket. Steve and I quietly walked outside, each other going our own way home. Okay guys, so I really do hope that you enjoyed 2 nights special ASMR Halloween stories. If you did, please do not forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you are new, and if you would like more stories, please do let me know. I love you all. Stay safe on this, on this spooky evening. And yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's video, guys. Have a safe night now.